Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Eric and welcome back to a brand new video here on the BioShockHub. It's been a while since I've done a cut content video and you guys really seem to enjoy these, and if you're new here and never seen any of the previous cut content videos, I'll leave a playlist down in the description below so you guys can go check that out. I'd highly recommend it. There's a lot of interesting characters that didn't make any of the games. So, in today's video, I have 10 new ones for you, and then the next episode we will be looking at removed weaponry or weapons in general. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and let's hop into 10 more cut or removed characters from the Bioshock series. So coming in at the number 10 spot on today's list is the Slugbug Big Daddy from Bioshock 1. A fourth type of Big Daddy called the Slugbug started to be developed but never got past the concept art stage. And if you guys go back and watch the videos, you'll notice a lot of the concept never got actually approved, and a lot of it was scrapped at the concept art stage. This Big Daddy type would have a large slug-like creature riding on its head and shoulders of their Big Daddy suit respectively. Several of the slug's tentacles would be rammed into the viewports of the suit. Other smaller tentacles produced arcs of electricity and could fire bolts of plasma at its enemies. It was first envisioned that the player would have to kill the slug in order to defeat the Big Daddy, but the concept was deemed unworkable. Now this sounds like a very badass premise to an enemy, however, like it says, I don't see the practicality of it in general, and I'm not quite sure if it would have actually fit the theme of Rapture and Bioshock 1 itself. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below of that. Coming in at the number 9 slot is the original Subject Delta. At the point of the Hunting the Big Sister trailer after its release, the player did not yet have their own character model. As such, the video shows the placeholder of a Rosie model to represent the player instead. Delta's design went through many iterations of size, helmet, equipment, color, and even as simple as his faceplate. One iteration of his design looked like a slight variant of the Bouncer Big Daddy. An idea for the player's aperture, the glove openings, was that he would have a parasite protruding from his forearm. Instead of actually experimenting humans to make the early Big Daddies, they would use the parasites to test plasmids. The iris would open, and the parasite would fire the plasmids. Concept art also reveals that the team went through many concepts while entering the little sister's eyes. From seeing him as an all-American father figure, to a superhero, to a gold knight in shining armor. The only one that ended up making it in the final cut was the gold knight in shining armor, and that is if you do all the good options within Bioshock 2. That being sparing Grace Holloway, sparing Stanley Poole, and basically saving Gil Alexander by putting him out of his misery. And speaking of Stanley Poole, that deceitful little shit, coming in at our number 8 slot, we have the original Stanley Poole. Stanley had another character model with a period-appropriate Hawaiian shirt. The producer stated that it was too out of place for the setting, and it felt too modern. Unused radio correspondence from Dionysus Park revealed that Stanley's personality and role were quite different from what's portrayed in the game's final product. Initially, he enlists Subject Delta into getting photographic proof or evidence of Ava Tate's illicit activities. The dialogue paints him as a stuttering, prudish campaigner for truth, moral decency, and also views splicers as deplorable moral degenerates. Man, have times changed. There were also many hints that he and Grace Holloway were actually married, suggesting that the Stanley and the deep blue Revo poster mentioned above really is him, and that they raised Eleanor together when Sophia was arrested. Obviously, we know that's not the case. He likely would have cared deeply for the young girl. Despite having to give up their roles as a duet group for the Limbo Room, Stanley appeared happy, though would often sneak out and return looking sick. According to Grace Holloway's unused audio diaries, Stanley would have been a, quote, bad boy with an attitude at one point. Left Grace sometime after Eleanor's disappearance, which any normal man would. I'm completely kidding, that is disgusting. He believes that he never engaged in splicing, though the evidence shows that he did heavily. He appears to be suffering from amnesia or some sort of schizophrenia, possibly as a result of his splicing. So man, all of this information, they could have used it to actually make Stanley Poole a decent and interesting character. Wow! It's like they could have done something completely worthwhile, whereas the other Stanley Poole is a little bitch. Who knew? So in at our number 7, 6, and 5 slots, we're going to be looking at some minor characters that were removed from Bioshock 2. Unfortunately, there isn't too much information about these characters, but there are information and unused lines nonetheless. So in at the number 7 slot, we have Agnes Kirschenbaum. Agnes Kirschenbaum would have been a citizen of Rapture. She assisted her friend Lucinda in protecting herself from a guy named Chad, who was harassing her. Typical Chads, am I right? She bought her electrical storm, so if Chad were to harass Lucinda again, he would have received a hefty jolt of electricity. And if you don't know what electrical storm is, it's a gene tonic, so there you go. She is one of the characters who was ultimately cut during the development of Bioshock 2. And I do understand why. There really was no significance behind her role. So, with that being said, here is the unused audio diary. And at our number 6 slot, we have Douglas McDougal. What a name. Anyways, Douglas McDougal would have also been a citizen of Rapture. During the Rapture Civil War, he managed to take refuge in the Triton Cinema with supplies he had gathered, narrowly avoiding being shot down by security bots. He, again, is one character who was cut during the development of Bioshock 2. Now, here's something that really interests me, and I think it might be a good idea. I would have loved to have seen other people, besides splicers or the main characters in Rapture, actually be involved with the story. Trying to hide, trying to survive. I think that would have added a little bit more of a depth to the actual environment itself. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And again, here is the audio diary for you guys to read and check out for yourself. Now for our number 5 slot, we have another citizen of Rapture that was cut during Bioshock 2, that being Leonid Berman. And I'm going to say this one more time. All of the citizens that were removed, whether it's Bioshock 1, 2, or Infinite, in my opinion, should have stayed in the game. I think it would have added an awesome element just to have more people involved, especially ones that are trying to hoard up supplies and survive as best as they possibly could. So, again, please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Leonid Berman was a citizen of Rapture who ended up living in Pauper's Drop. He mentions in his audio diary that he heard about Eddie making a score in Neptune's bounty. He eventually planned on paying Eddie a visit to show him that he shouldn't hoard all of the goodies to himself. As I mentioned, Berman was one of the characters who was cut during the development of Bioshock 2, and I'll also put the audio diary up on the screen right now. For our number 4 slot, we have everybody's favorite multi-dimensional father, that being the original Booker DeWitt. And all trailers that I'll be mentioning within this section will be provided in the description if you want to watch them for yourself. The early version of Booker's arms were seen covered by sleeves from a pinstriped coat or potentially suit. This version remained in most of the early gameplay footage, even after the artwork debut of his appearance on the EGM cover, which had him appearing with rolled up sleeves. It wasn't until the Beast of America trailer that Booker was finally given rolled sleeves to match his artwork appearance, along with his traditional AD handbrand. Before he was actually voiced by Troy Baker, Booker was voiced by Steven Russell in the first demo trailer. The Beast of America trailer at one point also shows Booker wearing a ring with a devil's face, similar to the icon of the Devil's Kiss Vigor. A model of Booker's left arm with a V, most likely for Vox Populi, was tattooed on his wrist and can be found in the game files, but it was never used. I'll put the pictures up on screen for you guys to check out. They are pretty badass, and I think it would have added a unique element, especially with the whole multiverse theory and jumping from tear to tear. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. In at our number 3 spot, we have an early and unnamed prototype enemy, and this has to do with the Gibson Girl trailer, which I'll provide in the description for you guys, or the Gibson Girl video. Appearing in the same video as the prototype Gibson Girl Elizabeth, there is an unnamed enemy shown resembling a giant mechanical doll in appearance. In my personal opinion, I believe if he were still in the game, this would have been made by the Mad Toy Maker, yet another cut character from Bioshock Infinite. No information has been given on what the enemy is or does, and it is likely that it was scrapped early in development from the Art Nouveau version. It is also possible that this doll was just a stand-in for something else, or was placed there to give Elizabeth something to draw the player's attention to. And it does look pretty cool, but I can also see that it could have been a potential placement for maybe one of the turret machines that you see all throughout Columbia. Again, let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and opinions of all the cut content that I provided in the video so far. Now, the characters that I chose for the number 2 slot are rather fitting since I just did a video on Cornelius Slate. If you want to check it out, you can click the card at the top right hand corner of the screen, or wait till the video's over and it'll pop up on screen for you. I'd highly recommend checking out the story of Slate. Anyways, this is Slate's soldiers. Concept art originally showed additional unique outfits for Slate soldiers in 2 attractions at Hall of Heroes, the stereotypical Asian and Native American outfits. Some of Slate's soldiers were planned to have more Native American appearances, which would have been around the Hall of Heroes to fight Booker. Variations were only used for Slate's Crow in the final game. A unique Asian mask from one of the concept outfits did finally appear in Burial at Sea Episode 2, at Fontaine's secret panic room at the Manta Ray Lounge as one of his disguises. So who knows? Maybe Atlas had teleportation through terror at his disposal, decided to go undercover as one of Slate's soldiers to get some information on Booker, or Elizabeth for that matter, and he just decided to bring that back as a souvenir. It's an interesting little theory, don't you think? But although it is highly unlikely. Let me know what you think of that theory down in the comments. And finally, rounding out our list at number 1 would have been Su Chong's lab assistant. Not you as Elizabeth, but an actual lab assistant that would have spoken to you, gave you tasks, etc. Unused subtitles indicate that a lab assistant, possibly named Harlan, was supposed to be heard and possibly seen inside Dr. Su Chong's free clinic after Elizabeth arrives. The assistant is heard berating and beating a Big Daddy that had gone, quote, off the reservation to travel to Fontaine's department store and kill splicers. The idea for the drill was from this assistant, and he was very angry that the idea had been killed by Su Chong because of the Big Daddy's actions. So I think that would have been a little interesting. It would have added more characters to Burial at Sea Episode 2. And I would have liked to hear someone try to berate a Big Daddy or berate Su Chong, because Su Chong definitely deserves it. But I think the Big Daddy, it wouldn't have gone so smoothly. For example, look at what happened at Dr. Su Chong. All you need to know, he got his back fixed by getting a drill through it, so you tell me. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Bioshock's cut or removed content. If there's anything you want to see in particular in future episodes, please let me know down in the comment section below. And if you want to help me out and are new here, would you kindly drop a like on the video and subscribe? It really goes a long way for the channel. Also, if you're new here and want to keep up to date with me, turn on post notifications. That way you'll never miss a future video or a future live stream. If you want to talk to me outside of YouTube, The best ways to do so are through my Instagram and my Twitter, which will be linked in the description below. I respond to all the messages and DMs that I get, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. With that being said, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night. And with that being said, take care, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.